Right, Hobart S sitting at 18 degrees while Darwin S only managing 23. Yeah, you heard that right. Is your city about to cop one of the wettest weekends we've seen this summer, or are you in for a scorcher that L have the bomb issuing extreme heat warnings? Currently, the Bureau of Meteorology has severe weather warnings active across 3 states, with tropical low 18U sitting over northwestern Queensland, affecting over 2 million Australians. In the next 60 seconds, I'll give you exact timing for when this weather hits Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart and Darwin. But first, chuck your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be doing personalised forecasts for your specific area based on the latest model runs. Right, let's get to those timings. Brisbane, you are looking at scattered showers developing Thursday afternoon around 3 o'clock, turning heavier Friday into Saturday with the main system. Sydney staying mostly dry until Friday evening when a weak trough pushes through. Scattered showers Saturday morning. Melbourne, Thursday's your best day this week, 24 degrees and sunny, but a strong cold front arrives Friday night, bringing widespread rain Saturday. Perth, you are in for a ripper of a week, mid-30s through to Sunday, with that Fremantle doctor keeping the coast bearable. Adelaide, hot and dry, Thursday and Friday, low 30s both days. Cool change Saturday drops you back to 23. Hobart, staying mild and showery Thursday, clearing Friday. Beautiful weekend ahead. Darwin, monsoon conditions continue. Daily storms Thursday through Sunday with heavy falls possible. Now, here's the thing. We've got tropical low 18U sitting over northwestern Queensland right now, and this system is absolutely massive in terms of its area of influence. The low pressure centre itself is just north of Mount Isa, but the impacts are reaching from the Torres Strait right down into the Northern Territory. Access is showing this system meandering west over the next few days before pushing out into the Gulf of Carpentaria by the weekend. The European model reckons something slightly different though, and I'll get to that critical difference at around the 7-minute mark because it changes everything for Townsville and Cairns. Let's talk about what is happening right now across the Cape York Peninsula. Waipa, you've had a decent run of showers and storms over the last couple of days. Winds are picking up now, and over Thursday and Friday, I'm expecting brief periods of near gale force winds. Cooktown, Cohen, Thursday Island, you are all in the firing line for heavy shower and thunderstorm activity. This isn't a garden variety wet season stuff either. We're talking about a broad monsoonal low that is going to pulse in and out over the next few days, the way these systems typically do in late January. Cairns and the Tablelands, you've seen the activity win back today compared to yesterday. Just a few isolated showers and storms through the Atherton Tablelands and into the Daintree. Nothing significant right now. But here, where it gets interesting, as this low pressure system tracks west and eventually makes it out into the Gulf of Carpentaria, likely Saturday into Sunday, we're going to see a resurgence in heavy rainfall. Townsville, Ingham, the northern tropical coast, most likely after the weekend into early next week. You are looking at falls between 100 to 250 millimetres. That is pretty standard wet season stuff, nothing too alarming. The real story here is what is happening further west. Normanton, Burketown, Mornington Island, Corumba, the usual suspects for heavy wet season falls. The latest rainfall models are suggesting 150 to 300 millimetres along the Carpentaria coast, with isolated pockets around Mornington Island potentially copping up to 400 millimetres between Friday night and Monday. Now, here's the critical bit. Those heavier falls staying close to the coastline is actually the best case scenario. When you've got very flat terrain like far northwestern Queensland, you want the heavy rain near the coast, not inland upstream where it can cause catastrophic flooding in the catchments. And flooding is definitely a concern because these rivers are already saturated. The Bino River is holding pretty firm at major flood levels right now. Corumba has been cut off since December 28th. That is 31 days isolated from the outside world, and it is likely to continue well into February, possibly March, if this rainfall keeps up. Walker's Bend, just outside of Normanton, is at major flood alert. These places cannot cope with much more water before things become disastrous. So while the rainfall forecast isn't a worst case scenario, flooding through northwestern Queensland is most certainly a possibility. Saturday and Sunday look like the wettest days before things slowly wind back early next week. There is an outside chance this system becomes a tropical cyclone as it heads into the Gulf of Carpentaria. The Bureau S giving it about a 10% chance. I'll be honest, I reckon that S pretty generous. The forecast models are all over the shop with this one. If you look at the AI forecast models, those circulation centres are spread from the Dampier Peninsula in Western Australia right across to Mornington Island in Queensland. That S a massive spread, which tells you the models have very low confidence in the exact track. I don't think it is going to develop into a cyclone, but more importantly, whether it does or doesn't really doesn't matter as much as the rainfall does. That S, what we need to focus on. Right, let me shift gears and talk about what S happening across the rest of the country because there's quite a bit going on. We've also got tropical low 19U tracking towards Western Australia. Broome, Port Hedland, Don T, get too excited about this one. The system S going to get absolutely ripped apart by wind shear before it reaches the coast. The remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Lana are down in the central eastern parts of WA, tracking towards the Nullarbor. This system should dissipate in the next 24 hours. It's had a pretty impressive run, dropping some solid rainfall and looking spectacular on satellite, but it is done now. Out in the South Pacific, we've got tropical low 20U, also known as tropical depression 07F in their numbering system. This one is likely to become a tropical cyclone in the next 24 hours if it hasn't already, bringing strong winds and heavy showers to Fiji. It's then expected to track back towards the Australian region, but it's no threat to the mainland at this point in time. Actually, hang on, let me clarify that. In the short to medium term, it is not a threat. I'll talk about the longer range outlook around the 12-minute mark because there is something developing in the Coral Sea that is worth keeping an eye on. Now, before I forget, if you haven't already dropped your location in the comments, do it now. Seriously. Tomorrow's forecast is going to be much more specific for individual areas once we get the overnight model runs, and I want to make sure I am covering your region. Let me give you a broader picture of what is happening across Australia right now. The southeast is in a pretty good spot this week. Canberra, you are looking at warm days Thursday and Friday, mid to high 20s, mostly sunny. A weak trough Friday night might bring a few showers Saturday morning, but nothing significant. Newcastle and the Central Coast, you are in a similar boat. Wollongong staying dry until Friday evening, scattered showers developing Saturday. Sydney, I mentioned you earlier, but let me be more specific. Thursday, 28 degrees, partly cloudy, minimal shower risk. Friday, 29 degrees, bit more humid, that trough approaching in the evening. Saturday morning, scattered showers, clearing by afternoon, 25 degrees. Sunday looks beautiful, 26 and mostly sunny. Perfect beach weather if the showers clear out early enough Saturday. Victoria S got a more active pattern coming. Melbourne, Thursday, S a ripper, 24 degrees and sunny, make the most of it. Friday, 26 degrees, but that cold front is on its way. Friday night the front hits, and Saturday you re-waking up to widespread rain and a temperature drop. 15 degrees Saturday, showers easing by evening. Geelong, Ballarat, Bendigo, you're all getting the same treatment. Shepparton in the north might stay a bit drier Friday, but you'll cop it Saturday morning. Down in Tasmania, Hobart, you are staying mild. 18 degrees Thursday with scattered showers, clearing Friday, gorgeous weekend ahead with 20 degrees and sunny both days. Launceston, similar story, but a degree or two cooler. Devonport on the north coast, you might see those showers linger a bit longer Friday morning, but clearing by afternoon. South Australia, Adelaide, you're in for some heat. Thursday, 32 degrees and sunny. Friday, 33 degrees, bit of northerly wind making it feel even warmer. Keep an eye on the fire danger ratings because with those temperatures and dry conditions, we could see total fire ban days declared. The cool change arrives Saturday morning, dropping you back to 23 degrees with possible showers. Mount Gambier in the southeast, you are getting that cool change Friday night, so your Saturday S only going to be 19 degrees. Whyalla and Port Augusta up north, you are staying hot longer, mid to high 30s through Saturday. Western Australia, Perth, you are in for a classic summer week. Thursday, 34 degrees. That Fremantle doctor will kick in around 2 p.m. to cool the coast down. Friday, 35 degrees, same pattern. Saturday and Sunday, 33 both days, sea breeze doing its job. Bunbury in the southwest, similar temperatures, but you will feel that sea breeze earlier. Geraldton, you are a few degrees hotter, mid to high 30s all week. Kalgoorlie inland, you are looking at 38 to 40 degrees, proper outback heat. Broome up north, 32 degrees with scattered showers and storms. Monsoon season in full swing. Northern Territory, Darwin, I mentioned you earlier. Monsoon conditions continuing, daily thunderstorms Thursday through Sunday, 23 to 32 degrees, but with that humidity, the feels like temperature is going to be closer to 40. Alice Springs in the centre, you are getting the opposite, dry heat. 38 Thursday, 39 Friday, might touch 40 Saturday. Catherine between the two, 36 degrees with isolated storm chances. Queensland outside the tropical systems we've already discussed. Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast, scattered showers Thursday, becoming more frequent Friday into Saturday. Toowoomba on the ranges, similar timing but slightly cooler, mid-20s. Rockhampton and Gladstone staying mostly dry this week, low 30s, bit of sea breeze relief. Mackay, you might catch some showers late week, but nothing heavy. Mount Isa, where that low is centred, scattered storms Thursday and Friday before the system moves west. Right, here is that model comparison I promised earlier. Access is showing tropical low 18U moving west into the Gulf by Saturday, then just sitting there and weakening through early next week. The European model is suggesting something slightly different. It reckons the low might pulse stronger as it enters the Gulf, possibly organising enough for brief cyclone development Sunday into Monday. The GFS American model is somewhere in between. This difference matters because if the European S right, Townsville and Cairns, you to see heavier rainfall Monday into Tuesday than currently forecast. We'll have a better idea tomorrow once the overnight runs come through. Now let's talk about something I've been monitoring closely for the last couple of weeks. The longer range signal in the Coral Sea. Before anyone panics, this is not something to worry about right now. There's no imminent threat. But the forecast models are showing increasing tropical cyclone strike probability for the Coral Sea out towards mid to late February, around the 15th to the 28th. Multiple major forecast models are picking up on a strengthening monsoon trough developing across the Coral Sea around the 11th of February. That is a typical precursor to tropical cyclone activity. I reckon there is going to be something developing out in the Coral Sea as we head towards the back end of February. Could it impact the central Queensland coast? Possibly. Mackay, Rockhampton, Gladstone, even down towards the Sunshine Coast. You'd want to keep this on your radar. But again, this is weeks away. There's no point preparing or worrying about it now. There's also a signal for potential tropical cyclone development in the Indian Ocean off Western Australia S coast between the 5th and 10th of February. This could potentially impact the Kimberley or Pilbara coastline, but again, that S over a week away and the forecast confidence is still pretty low. For those of you in the southeast enjoying that cooler change Saturday, it's going to be a pretty sharp temperature drop. Melbourne going from 26 Friday to 15 Saturday is a significant swing. One thing I want to emphasise for northwestern Queensland, again, because I know a lot of you watching are from that region, the flooding situation is serious, but it's not an emergency yet. The Bureau hasn't issued flood warnings for most catchments, just flood watches. That means flooding is possible but not imminent. However, given the rainfall forecast for Saturday and Sunday, that could change quickly. Keep an eye on the bomb warnings, check the river levels regularly, and if you in Normanton, Corumba or around Mornington Island, have your plan ready. Road closures are highly likely, possibly for extended periods. All right, just to recap quickly because I know I've thrown a lot at you. The main story is tropical low 18U over northwestern Queensland, bringing heavy rainfall to the Gulf country Saturday and Sunday. Possible flooding, Corumba already cut off, Normanton on watch. Small chance of cyclone development, but rainfall is the bigger concern. Southeast Australia S got a cold front moving through Friday night, Saturday, affecting Victoria, South Australia, southern New South Wales, Tasmania gets it slightly earlier. Hot conditions across South Australia and Western Australia Thursday and Friday with fire danger concerns. Darwin and the top end continuing with monsoon conditions. And longer range, watching the Coral Sea for potential development late February. Look, I'll be honest, there's still quite a bit of uncertainty around the exact track of that tropical low over the next few days. Tomorrow morning S runs should give us better clarity. Check back tomorrow because I'll have those updated model runs. For tomorrow S forecast, drop your location in the comments and I'll cover your specific area. The Coral Sea situation in late February is something I am going to keep close tabs on. It's pretty typical for this time of year to see increased cyclone risk for Queensland. February, March, April always carry that risk. But it looks like late February into early March is when that risk really jumps up this year. Again, though, nothing imminent, nothing to prepare for yet, just something to be aware of. I really appreciate everyone who has been watching these updates regularly. The fact that we can now look at long-range tropical predictions with some degree of reliability is pretty exciting from a meteorology standpoint. Anyway, that S, probably enough from me for today. I've covered the tropics, the southeast cold front, the heat in the west and centre, flooding concerns, and that longer range Coral Sea signal. If I've missed anything or you've got specific questions, chuck them in the comments. I read them all and I'll respond personally. Tomorrow S Update will have those fresh model runs, more specific rainfall totals for northwestern Queensland, better clarity on whether that Gulf system organises or not, and I'll update you on that cold front S timing through the southeast. Should have the video up by around 11 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, especially if you re in the flood watch zones. Keep an eye on the bomb warnings. They re your official source. I'll catch you tomorrow with the next update.